So, like, Cameron, can I counter
Respect.
that by saying, would your dad not be a douche if he like took his bike and went to like a kid's bicycle lesson and just like
yeah,
isn't that the same as Smurfing? Like going down the fucking like Bronze League Overwatch?
I guess I knew my dad. You're right. That's a totally
like,
different scenario. I knew my dad was good already. It's just cool to be impressed in person.
Yeah, do it.
How do I do it though? Because you.
I just want you to do something.
All right, we're going live in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to 8-Bit Opinions, a podcast where we talk about gaming news, and just general shenanigans. I'm Fosman, the quote-unquote host of this whole ordeal. With me, I have at Bmail, at Zidane, and at Nos. Hello, and at Nosferatu Cam. I'm still doing the app because we established last time, because of adding in Discord, it's totally fair, right? Same thing as Twitter. Totally fair.
Should we be dropping our little like tag number?
Yeah.
So like I'm Bmail hash
57139.
Yeah, that.
I'm at Fosman. I'm not even gonna pull it up right now. At Fosman 6969. Anyways, so welcome everybody. Glad you're here today. How we doing?
Fantastic.
Excellent. Tomorrow's Friday.
Stan is just feeling on top of the world right now.
Very nice.
Moving all day. I'm
streaming to you live, pre-recorded from my new office.
Pre-recorded. This is impressive. Yeah.
So I actually saw this thing, and I want to like get off track or anything, but I saw this thing where this guy pre-recorded like Zoom meetings. So like he was there and everything, and like pretend to be there, like in Zoom meetings. He would like he had like his video and everything. He would even like pretend like to get up and get water and everything, like the whole ordeal. And no one even found out.
I don't think you guys are getting the meme, because the meme used to be like when streaming was like a new thing and YouTubers started streaming.
Yeah.
People would accuse them of like, oh, the videos aren't actually live.
Oh, they're
like,
not
the
actually
chat is fake.
Gotcha.
Or like, yeah, but they used to like jokingly accuse the shows of being fake. So it's like, I used to watch a couple streams where they'd like be like, this is a pre-recorded video from me that I'm streaming to you live now.
Yeah, I missed the meme. Sorry.
I boomered that one as well. That's on me.
In this episode, Bmail hangs out with a bunch of boomers. Worst game ever.
You're the youngest, aren't you?
I am the youngest.
Yeah, he is for sure.
I guarantee you, anyone that ever watched this would think that I'm the youngest. 100%.
Look at me.
I mean,
Cam looks like he's 12.
Same.
No, you got that.
I feel like I could
beard.
pass for second oldest.
I got that mountain man beard right now. I'll tell you what. Put it dip in. Like go up in the mountains, hunt some buckeye. You know what I'm saying?
A buckeye?
I don't know what I'm saying.
You know what a buckeye is?
I thought that's the thing that falls off trees.
I'm pretty sure that is.
It's like a little like weird nut that's really smooth.
Just go with it. Just go with it.
You can hunt buckeyes. Let's go buckeye hunting. Hell yeah.
It'd be like, you guys ever went berry picking? Probably.
Yeah.
Man, up there.
Absolutely not. Not one.
Yeah, I don't think I've been mushroom hunting, but that's about
I've been mushroom hunting, and my parents' place growing up, we had mulberry trees in the backyard.
Yeah, those were so good.
I'd go pick mulberries right off the tree.
Big fat, the big fat black ones.
I love that. Yeah,
oh,
I like to grab them when they were still just a little pink, just like a little
That's when they're
not
sour.
Quite right, just a little. Yeah, just a little sour, just a little.
Oh,
a little crunchy. Hell yeah,
likes the sweet and sour, man.
Yeah.
One time, Stan and I were on a walk, and he just looked over and goes, "Oh, dude, I love these things," and just pulled one off a tree and ate one. And I was like, I wouldn't just trust my instincts enough to eat a random berry.
Well, if you knew what it was, it'd be fine.
Wyatt went with him, so
like they were in my backyard growing up. I love those things.
how did you know for sure, Stan?
They're a very distinct look.
Have you seen Into the Wild?
This isn't
read
Into
that
the
book?
Wild. This
Did
is
you guys
I'm
drink-
not.
did
He's
you
not
guys
on the
drink your
Alaskan
own piss?
frontier.
this
Did you
is
guys drink your
Midwest
own piss
Iowa.
after that?
There's like one thing. There's like one. There's one tree that bears any kind of fruit at all like that, right? There's
Apples.
nothing else like that around here. Apple? I said at all like that. You think I can't tell the difference between a little berry and an apple? I used to have an apple tree in the backyard growing up as a kid too, and I go pick little crab apples off it. And eat
He's obviously
that's what I was-
questioning your intelligence.
That's what I was gonna ask you guys. You had a crab apple tree stand. I love those things.
yeah.
They're really pretty too. I feel like they're underrated. I don't know, but
Dude. Homegrown food.
Ooh.
So what?
anyways, I am so happy that you all are here today, like always on Clockwork. The first thing, well, actually, no. Before I get into my first topic, which is like a really, really good one that I am super like, I really want your guys' opinion on this
You're
because
hyping it, man.
No.
I have strong opinions. I have strong opinions about this, and I really want other people's like perspectives. I really do. But before we get into that, are you guys playing anything new recently that you've been really enjoying? Any new games? Anything going on?
I really enjoyed the Apex that we just played right before this because we had a win, and then we had a second place. Sad about the second place, but it could have been 2 wins.
Some people got the clutch gene and some don't.
Yeah, I doubt it. And then I've been playing. I said it last time. If the Outer Worlds, it's been really fun. I'm already
Real quick, what do you think of you said you like the Volt more than the Prowler?
I think they're equal now. I used to Prowler is easily my favorite offhand.
It's got a slow rate of fire like the Prowler, so like, huh?
Yeah, just Prowler Select Fire. That 30 bullets with the purple mag is.
It's filthy.
Although I will say, if you don't have good attachments on the Volt, because as soon as you get the Select Fire with the Prowler, it's pretty like, it's really fucking good, right? But with the Volt, you have to kind of like get it. You have to upgrade it. You have to get it to that spot more so than the Prowler, I guess you could say.
I think the extended mag's the most important thing for the Prowler because I don't mind the triple shot, even hip firing. Like, I think it's pretty filthy, especially if you can get that 1x hollow or whatever that tracks them. That's just dirty to aim down sights and get the triple shot. Ooh.
That's all I do, man. So like, especially if I get a Prowler at the beginning of the game, people try to roll up on me. You can just 2 burst them. You can 1 burst them actually, if you hit them in the head. Like, it's like the burst with the Prowler. I mean, you said it. It's also really good. But yeah, no, we were definitely farming in duos. I like duos and BRs. I don't know. Actually, this is a good question for you guys. Like, there wasn't a duos in pub, right? There's not a duos pub.
Solos, duos,
Oh, okay.
3-man squad, or
Was it always a game mode option? Like
Yes.
it is right. Like if I went and played it right now, I could do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Always.
Cool. What's your guys' favorite mode? Because for me, I'm just going to explain this real quick. The reason I love duos so much in Apex is because it's hard to kill people in Apex. The time to kill is pretty high. So like in duos, I always feel like I have a chance. Like I 1v2'd like at the beginning of like a match that me and Cameron had. I mean, I got gold armor, which was lucky, but like you always have like that chance. That's why I like duos, and where it's like if it's 1v3, it's pretty much like unless you pull something out of your ass, it's super impressive. You're probably gonna die, but in duos, it's like winnable. So what game mode do you guys like from the BRs?
I'm glad that you said the time to kill thing because we had recently been coming back to pub, and I finally got my first 4-piece. I guess we went away from pub again. Sadly, we need to not do that. I got a 4-piece, and that's only because I'm pretty sure 2 of them were shotgun kills, 1 shots, and then the rest were just full auto, and they died really fast. So, you remember that side, Aiden?
No.
I did it.
I don't remember this.
Oh well, it's nice. You can kill 4 people really easily. I mean, obviously it's very stacked against you, but I don't think a solo person could kill 4 people in Apex. Like even if they can't kill 3. But in pub, it really depends on what you want to do because I like solos. A lot of people don't. The coolest thing is instead of getting dropped, they just die. Like that was very satisfying to just have people just die every time and not worry about killing them again or
Making sure they're dead.
Yeah. And then duos I think was the one that I would definitely take the most seriously because
Likewise.
it's just 2 people and like Foz says, I mean, you have a much better chance 1v2ing. I mean, that's just kind of a common thing even in a group game mode. So, and it's better practice. And then squads is fun because unlike Apex, there's 4 people, and you just have more friends. So there's just more likely chance of people fucking off. And like we said in pub,
more shenanigans.
More shenanigans. Pub is a shenanigans game.
I think 4 people in a BR sounds awful.
It
But
can be.
One car.
It can be.
It's too much, man. I think BRs is like. I think 3 people. I think 2 and 3 people is the only squad thing that BRs should like. That should be the rules for BR because anything less is boring like solos. That sounds like that's awful in a BR. I like people maybe like that. I think it's really boring. Maybe it's nice because you can just like, like they don't go down. They just boom, they're dead, which is nice. Mm-hmm. But 1 is just like it's awful because it's like it's boring and shit. And then like. 4 is like, oh my god, it's like too much for BR, in my opinion.
But have you played pub?
No, he hasn't. He won't. He refuses to play it.
I played it on the Xbox a little bit. That's all. But like,
that doesn't count.
But like, I just really enjoy. I mean, my opinion of it now is that I really enjoy Apex, and anytime I'm playing. Any other BR, like I'd rather just play Apex. Like when I was playing Warzone with Logan, we were all playing for Warzone with Logan during that time. The whole time I'm sitting there playing Warzone. I'm like shooting people. I'm like, man, I could be just like playing Apex right now.
I think pub is so different though. In Warzone, you're pushing and running like pub.
It's so no, but Warzone is so much. Pub. It's classic Call of Duty. It's so goddamn fast.
Yeah, but so is Apex. So pub is much slower. The gunfights are totally unique in my mind.
I have some I want to say, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So we have a so last week we talked about something that aged like I'm sorry guys, I'm very expressive. I'm sorry.
Aged like milk.
Just giving you shit.
We have a comment that aged like milk from our last podcast. They are adding on the 4th. The new season for Apex is coming. Yeah. They're adding vehicles.
Oh no!
What kind of vehicles?
What are they gonna do?
From what I've seen, I don't try to look too much into it.
I know there's gonna be a new map.
Experience it. There's gonna be a new map. It's called Olympus, and they're also gonna add vehicles. And these vehicles, from what I have seen so far, like I said, I don't do too much research because I just want to like enjoy it when it comes out. But it looks like it's not like a Warthog. It has no weaponry on it or anything like that. It's mainly just for mobility. But I'm curious, can you run people over?
Oh, of course.
Can it be destroyed? Like, how does that work,
What is the vehicle?
You know what it's called?
I don't know what it's called, but basically there's a driver. It's kind of like
aged like milk.
Shoot, what is that vehicle from what's that Covenant vehicle from Halo that was mainly for transportation? It did have a turret on the top, but it was in like what's the scepter? Is it like really
purple?
Fast? Yeah.
So had one like towards the end of Halo 2, it's like a 4-man seater, pilot seat in the front, seat on either side.
Yeah.
Small turret in the back, kind of has Wraith-like mechanics.
Okay, yeah. So this vehicle is from
what that was called.
I gotcha. Thank you, Stan. So from what I've seen, it's like there's a driver on top, and then there's two passenger in each side for a full squad, right?
Yeah.
And it basically is just meant to like third party, so get to places faster. It has no combat stuff on it. It's just for what I'm assuming is it's like added mobility from what I've seen. But I haven't done too much research on it other than just like looking at it in the trailers and whatnot. But I do know it doesn't have like, it's not like a Warhog or something where you use it for combat. But I just thought that I found that out the other day, and the first thing I thought of was our recent podcast. I just thought it was funny. We were literally just talking about that.
I'm not excited. I was literally getting excited about the game, and then you just took it away from me.
We'll have to see how it is. So like I said, the next, what is it, the 4th? I'm really excited for the new map. I think that should be cool. But yeah, next Wednesday, they should make some balance changes to guns too and stuff, which will be really interesting. But anyways, yeah,
really interesting. I'm curious to see what they implement as far as like damage to the vehicles. How much damage do they soak up? Do they make you invincible, basically?
What if you're in the vehicle and it gets destroyed? Yeah. Do you die? Do you just get
does
ejected?
The vehicle blow up and kill the whole squad? Because that's like, I guess the only vehicle mechanic in Apex Legends is the train, where the train is basically like a immovable object, like a building that is moving.
Can it run you over?
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Yeah, the train can kill you.
No, it can't.
I didn't think so.
I thought when it started?
No, it cannot kill you.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. The train then can kill
you.
I
wonder if that's a hint as to how this vehicle will react.
I hope so. I don't want to be. I want to. If someone
with
kills
the only
me,
other vehicle in the game.
That's a good point, Stan, and that's a good way to think about it. I'll tell you one thing, just off the top of my head, like I would have to see it once I play it, but I want someone to kill me by like hitting 4 wingman shots in the head. Like I want them to kill me with that. I do not want to get killed by some guy who splatters me, dude. I don't want that to happen. I want you to earn it.
No, the more disappointing thing would be if you had the whole squad in the thing and you got arc start or something and it blows it up and everybody dies. Like you don't get ejected.
What about
seems very unlikely. I feel like you would get ejected.
What about a hijack mechanic? Just like
I would be down for that.
I'd be all right.
So like they get close enough to you, you latch onto them, you kick them out, and like so in Halo that knocks your shields, so you're like basically one tap or pretty close.
Yeah.
What if in Apex it like knocks your shields off you because you just got kicked in the face out of your vehicle?
That would be cool. However, I think one thing, I don't think they'd have an eject mechanic that, like I said, that would be super cool. But if you were to eject, if it was the same time as in Halo, so if you've got 2 other squad mates sitting on it and you're ejecting maybe one squad member.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining this too well, but you're gonna get blown up. You're gonna get blown up. If you're ejecting, if you're like on the car, like trying to pull someone out, like in Halo, that's what they do. They pull them out. And you would just get, to me in Apex, you would just get blow the fuck up by the other 2 people sitting in the car. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, gotcha.
I would just pin you against the wall, and then get out and shoot you.
Remember in Halo when
I would just teleport behind
and you would kill somebody?
Personal, kid.
What are you playing, Zayden?
I am playing. Well, you guys made me bring it up last episode, and I've been playing a lot of Battlefield 4.
I know you're still playing that.
Yeah, I am 100%. I tried Battlefield 5 there for like 2 or 3 conquest rounds. It didn't feel right, so I quickly went back to Battlefield 4.
I don't think the gun variety in 5 is good enough.
Definitely nothing like. Go ahead.
I was just I think you're about to get into it, but I was just going to ask, what did you not like about 5 compared to 4?
Gun variety, like Cam just brought up. And like the movement. I mean, I understand that Battlefield 4 is
old,
6 years old now, but movement wise, it's okay. Like it still has trouble when you're trying to like vault things. Like it like kicks you back down to the ground, and you have to do it like 3 or 4 times before you can get back up. But it just feels better. Like 5 feels really slow to me.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I kind of had a follow-up question for that. So like in so 5 is based no, that was Battlefield 1.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Five's
World-
like World War II.
Five is like World War II.
the Nazis.
Okay.
If there's a story to the game. But yeah, so Battlefield 1 was World War 1.
Correct.
I got
The,
you.
the only thing I enjoyed in Battlefield 1 was one weapon that I used, like, as a sniper.
Did
I
you
used
play
Iron
it, Cameron?
SMLE.
SMLE, man. Was so much fun.
Did they? I was curious about this. This kind of goes back to our vehicle talk, but like, so in World War One, we used a lot of livestock, like for war. Like,
Yeah.
it's actually crazy to think about how archaic we were during World War One. So, do you have like horses and shit in Battlefield One? Do you have like like animals that you use in
Yeah,
a lot?
you can ride horses. Just horses. There's a lot of prototype type machine guns for the time that were never actually like put into production for the war. They're all prototypes that they put into the game because you can't really have a Battlefield game with old action rifles. It just doesn't feel
It'd
good.
be really interesting, though. I
Are
mean,
they historically accurate prototypes?
I don't know.
Were they things that like were actually prototyped around that time, or were they
Yes,
things
I
that
think-
were
I
like
believe so.
actually
That's a good
put into
question.
production like 20 years later and like never even existed back then, even as an idea?
I cannot. Or
We need Jack.
yeah, I was going to say we need Jack for this. I cannot, or in like 100% certainty.
That
tell
would be
you
very
one way or
interesting
the
to
other.
know. I like details like that in the game.
My guess would be no, and they just wanted to add machine guns to a
Yeah.
Battlefield game. That would be my own guess. I'm speaking on my ass. I don't know anything about like the World War One weapons, but like that's kind of the vibe that I get. I kind of agree with you, Cameron. I think you were kind of about to say this, but like I would almost be okay with the Battlefield One game that is like very World War One.
right when
So like archaic as fuck, but also like
crazy idea.
global war. Go ahead, Stan.
If I can throw this out there, games that should bang: Battlefield 1 and Mordau. Let's go.
Okay, but we shouldn't. Yes, but we shouldn't use that. I feel like we're stealing somebody else's content saying
Oh,
that.
we can't do that.
Oh, well, never mind. We have no real followers yet, but
I
Yeah.
feel like
Nakey
that's
Jakey's
very-
gonna come when we blow
Is
up.
that
Nakey
fair?
Jakey's
No.
gonna come at us in a couple years.
yeah, if you look at
Gonna
their
lawyer
episode
up.
9, they even say my name. They're starting all this YouTube drama. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy to be a part of a YouTube drama?
Absolutely not.
I-
Get that
I
shit
don't
out
want
of here.
that at all.
I don't want to be, but you hear about it and it's just silly. It's
I don't
so
even want to
silly.
think about it as a possibility.
Other people
I'll just redact
like
that comment.
yeah.
Moving on.
Hey, Stan and Cameron, have you guys been playing anything new that you've really been enjoying, or kind of the same old slog?
I already told you.
I know you said Apex, but I thought maybe you might have something else. I was.
Outer Worlds. I thought I said that.
You did.
Oh, you did. You're right. My bad.
I think that's it. I've really played too much this week.
Stanley.
I think I know
Can I
what
give
Stan's played.
my weekly update in my
Oh,
in my
wait.
Space Engineers
Yes.
survival world?
What you got?
So I hopped on my latest ship, the Inquisitor, the really big one. Put a minor ship in the hangar of that, flew it out to Mars, and started working on a new space station out there.
It's not actually
couple-
Mars, is it? I'm sorry. I just wanted to.
Well, no, so
It's a
like-
red. It's a red planet.
it's a red planet, and so this world that I'm playing in, it's called an Earth-like planet is the name of the world, and it's basically like a really, really scaled down model of our solar system. So sans the gas giants. So there's like Earth or an Earth-like planet, and then there's like a Mars-like planet, and then there's like a alien planet that doesn't actually exist here. But it is like kind of that game's equivalent. It's the closest planet to me. It's about 2,000 kilometers in the game. And I did the math. If I had flown there at maximum velocity, 400 meters a second, it would have taken me about 2 hours in game time to make it from Earth to that planet.
Absolutely not.
But I had a jump drive, so it was more like 10 to 15 minutes. I made it there. I'm working on my first ship. I found a really cool rock that I like, and I I've started framing a base that probably a good 2 to 3 times as large as my last base. Like I'm going balls to the walls again, and I'm building a crazy big worker ship to weld it. I want a giant shipyard on top of a big platform, so I can take big ships like Ruthie and the Inquisitor and set them down there, just for RP.
It's
I
large.
have a question, Stan, and the RP thing you just said is kind of alludes to what I'm about to ask you. But can you make your server your generated world that you've built all this shit in? Can you make that online? Like, can you convert it to that? Because I know it's not like that right now. I know you could like give a code to somebody, but can you make it like public? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Like public online or no?
I think the way I understand it, and I haven't really looked into it very much. I just got a new server, so I need to get 2 more procs and some more memory. Get that bad boy running, and then you can host your own Space Engineer server. I'd like to do that, and I imagine I could take the world data from my game and put it in there, because that would be really cool. I'd like to have a server where people could come hang out, even if it's just to come check things out or hang out or actually play.
See, if there is there's something I could just pop into like that, I might even be more willing to play the game, or just to try to make it to your station without your help would be cool. Like
that would be really cool.
That'd be really hard though, because he's way out in BFE.
Well, his first station isn't.
No, yeah, my first station is actually pretty close to Earth-like planet and close to my other bases. So like you would start near my bases and there would be resources nearby that you could go mine.
Get it up and going, Stan. You might have got a space engineer friend here.
Ooh.
Don't tell him
anybody's listening to this.
He's gonna go do it right now. He's actually gonna leave.
He's gonna
Don't Tim Stan with a good time.
Sorry, I have to, so I don't know how I did not mention this. Talk about new games being played, because I've probably put 25 hours in the last week. I've been playing me some RuneScape. I've been jonesing for another 99, so I am working on 99 fletching. I started at level 45, about ready to hit 80.
Why did you start at 45? Wouldn't you start at 1?
No, I mean, from where I started when I decided I wanted to hit 99 in that skill, I was level 45.
How many bows do you have to make? Did you figure it out?
So far, I've probably made about 25,000 bows. I haven't strung any because I'm doing really AFK methods. I'm guessing by the end of it, I'll be stringing about 40,000.
Nice.
I don't know. Just today, I've done like 5. So
1,000?
Yeah. So you guys don't I can do it on my phone. So every minute and a half, I look at my phone, click, 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 5 clicks.
Is that because you use? Sorry, Cameron. I'm curious about this. Is that because you use? If it wasn't for Rune Light, would that not be possible?
No, that's the OSRS client on my phone. I don't use Rune Light on my phone. Rune Light doesn't help you in the game.
I don't understand the difference because it always says Rune Light, you and
Brandon.
Yeah, it always says Rune Light, so that's why I'm. Yeah,
so
Brandon.
You can just play old school RuneScape. I mean, that's what I'm playing. There's the old school RuneScape client, and that's just vanilla basically, and the same thing on your phone. I don't think you can get essentially add-ons on WoW, on your phone. So I mean, that's just base. So I mean, that's what I'm doing if I'm at work playing. If I'm sitting there waiting for something or something very not thinking about stuff, and I can just look over and do that really so often. I'll just, like I said, it's 5 clicks, and I can wait a minute and a half where I have to do anything else. So I do that, but then if you're playing on your computer and you're playing on Rune Light, it's essentially having add-ons in WoW. So I can it'll affect some things in game. I think you can get a quest helper that will put an arrow on where you should go next. I mean, I've never really used that. I basically just use it because it tracks your skills better. So it's telling you like, hey, you're getting this much XP per hour doing what you're doing, and like how efficient you are. It'll tell you how many more actions of the last action you did it would take you to hit the next level. You can like look up other players' information and see like what their stats are. Just a lot of stuff you couldn't do.
So when I got you. So that kind of follow-up question, like when I play WoW, I use a lot of external stuff to help me play the game a lot of the time. Do you do that with RuneScape?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You don't. I mean, I read a lot of stuff. RuneScape's kind of like old WoW Classic, where they're just like, we're gonna min max everything. Like, there's the best way to do something. So many people play this game, and we've talked about how high the XP rates can go and everything, and how competitive people get about being number one in that. So they look and they find like the best XP per hour plus like XP per GP. So like, how much gold did it cost you to get 1 XP? And they figured out that if you're making money, losing money, like what's worth it, what's not. And I mean, there's some skills that you can level in a day to 99, but it's going to cost you like 200 mil in game to do it that way. So
is that a no to my question about like using external stuff, or no? Like,
I said no.
Okay.
Like I said, I just use it to track like my XP rates.
Okay, because the reason I brought it up, because like it reminded me of like Wowhead and Icy Veins and all these sites I use in WoW to help me in the game, like these external websites and stuff. Yeah, so like I was wondering, that's kind of what I meant, and if you use anything like that in RuneScape, but it looks like you don't for the most part. You just utilize the add-ons, correct?
I utilize the add-ons to track what I'm getting, but like I'll use wikis and stuff externally.
Okay.
Or YouTube videos a lot just to see what's the best. But
so yeah, some extra external stuff as well, basically.
I typically look for the most AFKable methods because, again, I do a lot on my phone when I'm just sitting there. I can set my phone on like a stand and just look over really quick, or like if I'm playing a game on my computer that has a really good like windowed mode and I can get off the screen really quick, then I'll put it on my second monitor. It's like something I never just give my full attention to.
Imagine if you did, man. You'd be the 9th person with all your skills maxed out.
No, I'm good. But I bet those people definitely do that. They give their full attention, but it's not a full attention game.
No way.
Like, no way. If I'm doing something in the game like a quest or some kind of boss or combat, then yes, I'm gonna pay full attention. But if I'm just gonna sink 100 hours into this to get a 99, I'm gonna sit that 100 hours in the background.
Awesome.
I like your method.
I feel like I learned a lot about different games that I don't know anything about, so definitely appreciate that from you guys. Are we good?
Yes.
Good. Yes. Okay, so that brings me to basically the first topic I wanted to talk about tonight, you guys, which is
Wait, that wasn't a topic?
No, that was just general banter that we've been doing and doing well.
That was slash ban.
I'm just fucking with you.
Okay, you were making a joke. Okay, I am sorry.
Sorry, I'm dumb.
Sorry, I'm a big dumb. The first topic I want to talk to you guys about, and like I said, this is something that I'm pretty religious about. I guess that was a bad term to put, but like I have I have a great opinion about it because it's really interesting, and a lot of people have differing opinions. It's not something that people like. There's a lot of gray matter here. There's not just like yes and no for the most part from what I've seen from other people. So I wanted to talk to you guys about esports. What is that?
Sorry, nothing.
The crossbow?
I put a 22 bullet on a mini crossbow.
Phew! Anyway,
got him.
It didn't shoot it. It didn't shoot.
Actually, that was sick.
I was tinkering at my desk.
Oh, you're good. You're good, pal. Anyways, I wanted to ask you guys about esports. And before I get too much into it, I want to know, I guess, your general opinions on, like, just give me like your brief opinion on esports in general. Try not to get too much into it because I do have a follow-up question. But just like, what do you think?
Sure, I get it. It definitely attracts people to whatever game they're playing. I've never actually gone to like an esport like event, so I guess it's hard to have an opinion, I guess, without going to something like that and feeling the atmosphere and all that fun stuff.
It's a good point.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. It's cool. I mean, if that's your thing, it's not really my thing. Like, I feel like some people would follow certain people on a team, whether it be Liquid, I think, or whoever else is out there. They follow them like religiously, So, like I said, though, not my thing.
Kind of like with other sports. Like if you pick a team or you like players, you could see yourself following it.
Yeah, that's my team. I'm going to follow them. I know, I know their stats, things like that. Yeah. So I understand it, and I can see why people would like it, but it's
not for you.
I'm in the middle, I guess.
No, I think it's. Sorry, I thought you were done.
I have one last thing, but like a lot of it's just funny because a lot of like times when people are interviewed and stuff off these teams, it's cringy as fuck, and it's hysterical. Anyway, go ahead, BMO.
So I was gonna say I'm pretty all right with it. I think it's pretty cool. So I actually was like a staff advisor for a group of students at the college that I work at. They were starting a esports team. That didn't really pan out because we had to send everybody home for like next half of the school year, and then half of them graduated and they were all gone.
Do you know how many teams were in this local thing, Stan?
This local thing?
Yeah.
No, this local thing was basically just like 16 kids hanging out at the school after hours playing video games.
Okay.
We wanted to go and compete, but we just never really got around to it because the ones that we were looking at applying to going to ones in like January. We missed the deadlines for those, and then we're like, okay, when are the next ones? Like, and then everything got canceled. And the kid who was like in charge of all of it graduated and was gone, and nobody really took over it from there. I didn't want to do it full time, but I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I like the idea of it. It's not something I'm particularly interested in following, but I mean, go for it.
I think it's crazy that there's potential for kids to get recruited, like possibly go to college for video games.
Well, I mean, don't you think it's weird that like you have to get recruited to do something to go to college here?
To afford college, that's a different subject.
Yes, yeah. I'm just saying that the whole scope of video games, like, it's that big or that recognizable, I guess, and because video games kind of were looked at like, no one cares, go away, and like slowly over the past, I'd say, decade even, like they've really risen in popularity with streaming platforms like Twitch and YouTube and the X Mixer,
Facebook gaming.
Yeah. It's just crazy that there's potential for people to get recruited to go to college to play video games. Like when I was told when I was younger that like, you're not gonna amount to anything if you just sit there and play video games all day. Fuck you, mom. I'm going to college now. Like, what?
Yeah.
And not only that, they could get an education, but like also if they continue with it and say they win like the Overwatch World Cup, well then you just won like $2 million.
And you're probably going to be a professional video game player.
Yeah. Right. And then the other thing about that is that a lot of the popular content creators for video games, they got their platform and they got popular because they were ex-professional esports gamers, and that's how people figured out about them. So like that's a big deal. Like they're basically set up for life because of their like commitment to esports. Cameron, I'm kind of curious about your opinion about it because you haven't said much.
I'm very neutral. That's kind of why I didn't jump in there. I think it's cool. It's just I myself have never been into sports. Like I've literally been thinking this about myself lately. I am just not a very competitive person. Like I don't know, maybe in video games sometimes I'm competitive and I can see myself being competitive in that, I guess, if I took it more seriously, but I'm a very unserious gamer. Um, I was getting into Apex earlier though, but again, that was just me and Foz and I had to be along for the ride with him. So
you had to get your beach towel with Fosman because he's
Exactly.
too much.
So we
Too
played
slow.
that. That was fun. I got a sneeze. It's like right there. It went away. Dang it! I lost a sneeze. I hate that.
That's the word.
That is a
It's
bad
so
feeling.
bad. My eyes are
Do
watering.
boys
now.
ever lose your sneeze?
I just.
It's horrible.
So I guess, like I said, I didn't play sports. I didn't really do much in high school extracurricular at all. But I get emails about like starting a team, or it's like a thing that's coming soon,
Yeah.
and
For what?
Hmm.
Team for what?
an esports team, like at the high school level, like you were talking about. You get recruited as a
What?
high school or
See,
college.
what, like that's
Yeah,
just
none of us-
insane,
It's
man.
crazy
No, it's just-
because none of us grew up with that. None like
Exactly.
I definitely didn't,
I
and
was-
I'm assuming you guys did not either.
Born in the wrong generation.
No,
damn
you're
it.
not. We have character and values. The kids that I see, they don't. They don't. But
Do you really want? Do you really want a college full of kids who grew up playing Fortnite?
no.
Oh my
so,
god, no.
Well, it would not be a college full of kids. It would
That
be
grew up
so
playing
if you look at like a
Yeah,
college
like,
football team
20 years
no,
from
Stan,
now.
hold on. Like if you look at like a college football team, there's only like 50 people out of that college that are part of the football team. Well, it would be even less than that for like video games. That's all I wanted to say.
So
Yeah.
if,
okay.
whenever we were in school, because we were on school relatively around the same time, it would have been wild if that was a thing. As much as I played video games,
Hell yeah, man.
I would have joined that just to like
100%.
see what it was about. I mean, you can always quit, but that sounds
Mhm.
so cool. Like, yeah, that'd be wild. Be like, oh yeah, I'm going to college for free because I got admitted on a scholarship for playing video games.
As I click heads on Fortnite, that's why I'm going to college.
Like what?
We're talking about esports in a whole different light than I thought we would, because when you talk about esports, you only think about like the crazy big teams. I don't know anything about it, nor the lower levels of it. I'm sure there's like minor leagues of that, you know.
There is. Yep.
But it's crazy how much money that they can get. And I hate that, and I know there's kids out there who are like, I'm just gonna get really good at I'm gonna get good at League. I'm gonna get really good at LOL, and I'm gonna win $1 million. And that's all they do. They just commit themselves. It's like kids who think they can stream or something, and they quit their job just to stream, and they don't have any followers, or they're not making money or something. Like, I don't know. There's like fantasy to it. But on the other hand, for the people who are doing it, good job. I mean, you're making millions and millions of dollars winning like the world tournament. So obviously that's the elite, but that dude, like, good
But
job.
like
on those
you
guys.
said,
They're
they're
insane.
but like you said, and that was a great point, Cameron. They are such a small minority that no kid should really like truly aspire for that and put everything else. No, fuck everything else. I'm just gonna do this. Like no kid should do that. You're 100% right. But like it's the same thing with like professional sports. Like, you know, a lot of kids think they're gonna be the next LeBron James, and they commit themselves to that, and then
They blow
like,
out their knee and they're done.
years later they don't have anything else to account for with it. But all right, let me bring it back a second. Let me bring this topic back a second. So like, do we all agree or disagree that like esports should be a part of like sports in general?
Sure, why the hell not?
What do you mean by that?
So all I mean by that is well, I don't know how else to word it without trying to
Like, do we compare them to regular sports?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
I feel like this conversation is the same thing. Is NASCAR a sport?
Kind of, yeah. What do you think of NASCAR? Is it a sport?
Who gets to determine?
Is chess a sport?
If we're determining this, okay, so if we determine sports, what I think of sports, I think of like physical activity.
Don't think of physical activity. It's
Okay,
competitive.
but so if it's purely in the competitive sense, then yes to all of those things. Chess could be a sport in that way. But depends how you look at it. I like that you honestly just kind of changed my mind. I think competitive should be like the definition of sport, not like competitive physical activity.
Yeah, competitive, whatever it is.
Then awesome. Hell yeah. Then esports would be a sport. I mean, but it's got its own tag. It's esports, but I think that's just to, try to be different and have a
Stand
have
out
a
and be
name
like,
for it.
oh, what's that?
E-chess. Physical chest. I don't know.
E-chess.
E-chess. So then yeah, so with the definition of sports being anything competitive where you're a winner and a loser, then yeah, I think it's definitely like a sport. And like I said, I would have done that in high school because I think that's pretty cool. Like organized video game playing. It'd have been cool to just shit on some kids and smash right in front of them. I didn't know.
Stan,
You would have got you would have got a varsity letter.
I would have. Nice. Who gets a letter jacket? Zidane did. I know it.
If you're in sports, you get them.
You'll have like the smash patch.
Yeah, the really flat pad
patch on your. I wanted to ask you, Stan, because I haven't heard you. Like, what is your opinion on like esports as a sport?
I kind of cut him off. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I'm all for it. I'm down for it.
He was talking about how his college was getting ready to set something up before COVID shit on everything.
Yeah. Well, it was just a group of students who wanted to do it, really. So.
Okay, so basically everyone here is kind of the consensus that, hey, it's something competitive, just like chess, just like NASCAR, just like basketball, football, whatever. So it should definitely like fall under that category. So then how come it's not, I mean, and this question is kind of vague because even like the Overwatch League, which I wanted to get a little more into in a second, not the specifics of it, but like aspects of it from the game. But anyway, so like, how come it's not as popular as like normal sports? Even though it is on like ESPN, it's on ESPN, which is crazy.
It is?
What is?
Yeah, the Overwatch League premieres on ESPN.
Really?
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
I was getting ready to say I saw something on like Disney with like streamers being on Disney. I was like,
well, because doesn't Disney own ESPN?
Probably.
I think they do.
Big conglomerate.
Oh yeah, but so I mean, my question though is, how come it's not as popular as like normal sports? Then is that just because it needs more time to grow?
Yes.
Yep, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's
yes,
new.
because we have all the I want to say boomers, I guess, even though I'm definitely not a boomer. I get called it all the time.
But you're old.
I am a millennial. Thank you, sir. Anyway,
So am I.
You have all the boomers up, sitting upstairs in their lazy boys, yelling at screens, being like, "This is real sports. Them video games, that ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Get rid of that shit." It's so
Dude,
like,
imagine how mad those boomers are when like baseball's over and then they turn over to ESPN2 and they have to look at the fucking nerds from the Overwatch League.
Exactly. Exactly. The audience, like the age, like it's not there yet where, we'll come home and watch it and be okay with it. Like the core audience is too old.
Right. So do you think that our generation is going to grow into like I don't know, like they're going to grow into esports? Obviously, like none of us are big into it, but I think there's a lot of people that really, really appreciate it who are younger. And I think what esports is trying to do right now is they're trying to prune like younger people into liking it. And like I think that's kind of how it's going to be, is like, as it goes on, like these younger kids are going to grow up and then they're going to still like their favorite esports teams and they'll still be a part of it. And then it'll grow and grow and grow and keep going in that trajectory.
See, we're going to get some children prodigies at video games if they're doing that. Like more so than ever. It's going to be insane. But I could totally see myself being like an old man sitting on my recliner, kicked back, and me like, I remember back when I had them reflexes to get them headshots like those esports streamers.
That
I
could have
coulda
been me.
one.
That could have been me.
If I would have tried, that would have been me, dang flabbit.
Drink your Michelob Ultra or whatever.
Nah, I'm still drinking Goose then, man.
Uncle Rico. I could throw that football over the mountains. It'll be like the new age of that.
Could you imagine being like 70 years old, freshly retired, because that's the new retirement age?
Don't remind me.
For us, yep. Well, I mean, maybe we get to live longer. We do statistically live a little bit longer every like decade or like every generation or whatever. Like we're gonna have the longest life expectancy of like the US, I guess, for the most part, as long as none of us get sick at all, because also America.
Not with
gaming podcast, Stanley. Gaming podcast.
Oh my god, I'm so off track. What was I
He doesn't even remember. I don't even know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
You were talking about how like you're like imagine older people like.
No, you said when you
Oh
retired.
no, I was gonna say
freshly
imagine
retired.
being 70 and like, what if Overwatch is still a game then? That would
Overwatch
be
6.
insane. Yeah, or like
That would be
Overwatch Anniversary,
crazy.
Overwatch Classic.
Still waiting on Overwatch 2.
That would
Yeah,
be
that-
crazy.
At that point, Blizzard will be taking subscriptions for Overwatch Classic.
3.
Overwatch Classic. Dude.
That's
WoW,
funny.
WoW Classic will have been re-released like 10 times by then.
WoW
Every 10
Classic,
years.
Classic 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've kind of laid the groundwork for this, I wanted to ask you guys. So, and I don't think people talk about this enough, but this is transitioning to what we just said about Overwatch. I think it's great, but like part of the reason I think Overwatch eventually didn't do as well is because the team at Blizzard and everybody was focused too much on esports rather than like the actual player base of the game. So how can a gaming company balance between like esports and like your actual player base to make them both successful? And I know this is like a huge question, but I really think part of the fall of Overwatch was because of that, and I don't think enough people talk about it. Blizzard was so focused on esports that they didn't care about like the actual player base, and that's like the point I'm trying to make here. Go ahead, Stan.
So I really like the idea of kind of having two different branches of the game. Think of it as like you have a stable branch of the game, and then you have like a bleeding edge or like the nightly build of the game. So like, competitive is like one version of Overwatch, like, and it's always for like a 6-month period or something. So imagine if they did
question.
Yeah.
So like would the heroes like so would it be two different metas? So like McCree,
Yeah, basically.
so like McCree and the professional Overwatch would be a different McCree than the casual one.
Yeah. So imagine like, when they release a patch and Oriza, like, so like who is the last character to be buffed?
In Overwatch?
So like take the Tracer buffs, for example. So like those would happen probably as like one of the like semi-monthly to monthly nightly builds in like the quick play, where they're always trying to like, they're quickly balancing that, and like they're kind of testing shit out, and then they come up with like, so like they're always trying things out in quick play, but then like every couple months they take a few things from quick play and they make one new version of the game, and then like everyone kind of goes from there too. So it's like, you have a stable release, you have your nightly where maybe a character gets buffed or tweaked or nerfed or whatever.
Maybe
at the end of the season, it's just like, all right, here's the new build. Let's start the process over of like stable is over there, and you come here, just fuck off. Maybe we'll tweak things a little bit.
So I guess I had a quick question for you, Stan. Maybe define what you mean by like the nightly release.
So think of it like a competitive season is like every 6 months or something, right?
Way quicker than that, but
well, maybe they do it longer than that. Maybe they have like one one build of the game where all the characters and all the heroes are one way, all the stats are set to a specific number.
Mhm.
Let's call that build like 1601. That is the build of the game that you play in competitive for like a very long time, like a stable long-term time. So like maybe more than one season even. And then when they want to do things like, hey, we're going to introduce a new character or we're going to buff this, they'll do that in quick play. So you'll see a change like that in quick play,
Okay. I see
maybe
what you're
like
saying.
every other month. And then like if it
Mhm.
goes over well, it might become part of like the new release of the game. So like 6 months later, they're like, all right, here's what we learned from, season 16. We're going to build all that together. We're going to make release 17 of the game. And that's what we're going to start with in quick play. And that's what you're going to play in competitive for the next 6 months.
I got you. One thing I would say is that so a lot of people are saying Overwatch is in like the best state it's ever been in. Part of the reason for that is because they added an experimental mode, kind of like this nightly thing you're talking about, where they make changes to the game. It's in its own little mode. You play that, and then you experiment and test it in the game. And it's a lot. Blizzard has been able to implement changes or take back changes a lot quicker because they like literally have this experimental mode like within the game itself. So it's kind of like what you're saying. But I feel like for Overwatch 1, it's like too little too late because they were so focused on esports in the beginning. And it's just a tough. And I think esports made them more money. So as a business, I don't blame them, I guess, for focusing on that because you are a business at the end of the day.
You don't think they stepped over $1 to pick up a dime there?
But what are you trying to say? I mean, I know the expression, but like, are you saying like?
Do you think that like the hypothetical dime is chasing after the esports audience where the dollar would have been maintaining the game well over time for like a longer return?
Maybe I honestly I couldn't.
I'm just wondering, is it actually the best decision? It's the best decision to buff your numbers for the quarter before you sell the company and dip, maybe. But is that really a good decision to let the game tank because you're just chasing profit?
For sure. I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah.
In my opinion, well, because I'm such a fan of Overwatch, I'm really upset by the decision they made for it. But like, I mean, you might be right. It could have been like, because the player base was in shambles for like a long, long time. Like they hated the game and all that. Like even now, it's just barely come back. And it could have it had such a strong start, dude. It could have been one of the best games that was ever made. But it did have that downfall for a while. So I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe they were looking at the wrong thing, and they would have been more successful the other way. I can't speak on that. None of us can really. But what Cameron and Zidane, I mean, what are your guys' opinion on kind of what we're talking about with like focusing on esports more than like the actual game itself and like your real player base, which is like the vast majority of your game? Do you think that's a problem, or are you just like no, it's not even an issue at all? Like what's your opinions on it?
Okay, I'll talk.
I was like, okay.
I was waiting for Zidane, but all right. I think it's kind of silly. Why would you, like you said, you're only so many people are gonna be the esports, but maybe there's a whole nother side of esports profit that I don't know much about it at all. So
maybe with like TV revenue and stuff, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know what I mean?
Merch or something like
ads, man. That's where they make their money.
Or ads, or they used to make movies just to sell kids' toys, like stuff like that. But I think that you definitely should be appealing to like your main audience, the big group of people. Like, duh.
I don't think esports is large enough to make that your main focus yet.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you instead you're kind of shitting on your core audience there. You know, the people who spend $60 on crates and whatnot. You know, those people that love your game and want to support you. But when you put your main focus on esports, you know, pushing
Can
them
you
to
imagine the guy
pushing them to the
spending that
wayside.
much money on crates?
That's why I brought that up.
So,
But I know you love the game, so
I did really like that game.
So what comes to mind is Valorant. I feel like they were just trying to get straight into the esports scene right away.
directly. Are they there? Is that a thing?
I have no idea, but I feel like a lot of games are just made to be put into the esports scene, which is silly. But they do get an audience for that. Like we played Valorant, the prices of their content was way too absurd, so we didn't buy anything.
Yeah, the $120 gun kit or whatever it was.
Stupid.
I'm gonna say this, and maybe you guys disagree, but like Riot Games, I actually agree with you, Cameron. I think Riot Games made Valorant to appeal to a big esports, because the same thing with like CS:GO, and CS:GO was huge in esports. In fact, CS:GO almost pioneered esports, you could say.
They really did.
Yeah. So to make a clone and then try to get right into esports, I don't fault them for that. And if people want to make a game that kind of appeals to esports, that's fine. But you can't let it. You have to be apparent that that's your goal, and you can't like split your player base, or ruin other stuff because that's your goal. Yeah. So like if they wanted to do Valorant and all that and like do the esports thing, that's fine. But Overwatch, it was different. Whereas they made a game and then they wanted the esports. It's like they wanted to have their cake and eat it too, or whatever the saying is. You know, like that's what they wanted.
That's not okay.
I just looked
Again.
something up. Go ahead, Cameron.
I'm just not into esports, so it's hard to really have a good point of view on this because I don't even watch like esports highlights. Like
I
you get an
understand that.
Overwatch and you see like specific team skins, and I'm just like, I don't understand what this means. Like you can buy for your characters.
I think
Again, I don't really follow it. I think I honestly could though. Really.
If I like the game enough.
Yeah.
Same, Stan.
I
So
don't
like
know
I
what it is,
actually
but-
I looked at this one guy. I'm sorry, Stan, just real quick. Like I watched this one guy who goes over like Overwatch players like play in their professional games. And it's actually really interesting to see someone at the top of their level like really, really do well against other people who are at the top of their level. Like he broke down this guy who's like a professional Widowmaker player. I think even you would really enjoy it, Cameron. Like it was just interesting to see how this guy plays against the best in the world as Widowmaker, and the dynamic with that. But anyway, sorry, go ahead, Stan.
Oh man, I kind of lost what I was saying there. I was playing with this candlelit flashlight.
No, you're
my
fine.
desk.
That's on me.
No
But
fiddling.
no,
with things on our
I'm sorry, I
desk.
brought it back. What I was going to say, just like the topic of live content, like streams and all that, I really like the idea of like live streams. What did you say what were we on about that reminded me of that?
Well, I would say that one thing I could say to that, Stan, is that well, I think that's another reason that companies and games are so into esports, because think of how much money you could make off Twitch just by streaming esports. Overwatch League Twitch channel is like one of the most viewed Twitch channels ever. Like it makes an insane amount of money, like what Zidane said, from ad revenue.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I just feel like I feel like it's just the obvious next step of that kind of content. So like, we like watching YouTube clips of games, maybe stream highlight clips, whatever, or like content creators that we like. Now,
You think
like
this is an
a lot of
evolution, right?
well, not really. It's just like it's what I am like my interest is evolving into, because like I like to watch a couple content creators like Pay Money Wubby, H3H3. They start
Shout
going
outs.
live. They start going to like longer format things. Like Wubby doesn't post a lot of stuff on YouTube anymore. I follow him on
H3 has
Twitch.
podcasts.
And yeah, I think they do their stuff live, and like I think I would really like that. I seem to never get the notification that they're online, or I never catch it. But that would
Maybe
be
you're busy like working or
yeah.
something.
And then like, the natural next step of that might be like, oh hey, I guess these guys are playing Overwatch. Like I'll throw Overwatch League up on my TV while I'm around the house doing chores or whatever, and then I don't know, maybe those boys is especially handsome. Maybe I'd pay attention to how they do that.
Them handsome boys.
Yo, listen. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna say it.
We all gotta
So
we
weird.
gotta step our game up, boys. We gotta all start looking good.
There's
People
this
will watch
one.
us.
There's this one guy from the Overwatch League, Jake. He's like stupid. I'm just gonna say he's like stupid handsome, bro. Like I don't even understand how like a guy who games all day can look that good. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Boss is simping.
Oh, I'm simping hard for him, bro. Jake from Overwatch, hell yeah.
See, there you go, boys. It's a fact. Everybody's got a simp on the Overwatch League teams.
We really need to get a fifth person in here who's looking real good.
I wanted to.
Am
I
I not looking real
I
good?
don't think we look bad, so I don't know what you're talking about.
We're all a bunch of cave trolls.
I think
Neckbeard,
I think we're cute.
bunch of neckbeards.
Oh yeah, I thought I got all right. Come on,
I got
guys.
it bad right now. It's like yeah, all this shit going on. So actually, I wanted to say this real quick. So Gesture, which is the highest paid Overwatch League player, he makes $222,000
A year?
Yes.
But
A
that's
year?
for like a season. So a year, yeah.
but that's not
That's not
including
even a
prize
whole
money.
Lamborghini.
That's not including prize money or sponsors or if you stream.
Correct. That's his contract. Correct. Just like sports in real life, like those guys, they like. I'll just use the NFL for example. Like a quarterback can make $45 million in his contract, and then he'll make another $45 million from like you said, Cameron, like sponsors and whatnot. Yeah,
That's insane. 45 mils are not enough. I need another. Double it.
Right? Like, what do you mean? Like, I think at that point you're just
freaking
being
wish.
fucking greedy.
Yeah.
and the other interesting thing, so like I'll just use the NFL as an example again. They use like Under Armour, right, as like a sponsor for players and then they make money from Under Armour. These players do. It's the same thing with esports. These professional gamers, they make money from like sponsoring a mouse or a keyboard brand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't Shroud have, what does he have? Logitech?
Yep.
He has all Logitech
Nice.
stuff.
LG
wouldn't know.
Wireless Pro.
You're pretty close to that,
Logitech.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me and him, we play Apex together all the
Let me know.
time.
That's my headset brand, so I need to get in on this. I'll
Yo guys,
I love Corsair, but I don't like their styling. That's the only thing I don't.
I bought this.
I love the
sick-
blue that they have. Their color
Dude,
blue is
fucking
great.
Red Dragon, like Chinese Amazon basics. Come on.
Chinese Amazon basic.
Interesting.
Love it.
So what were we?
I bought the Death Adder mouse.
We were just
it's got,
talking
like,
about,
Overwatch signal.
We were talking about.
We're talking about Smash Brothers. We're talking about esports. And
We're good.
We don't watch them, but I said I don't watch anything or even watch highlights.
The consensus is they're okay.
Yep, they're
I'm
okay.
not.
I'm for it.
They're
Sure.
okay, but Smash Brothers, those dudes go insane. If you see an esports level Smash player, you wouldn't stand a chance.
Esports fighting games for sure. Like I would say the same thing for like Mortal Kombat and Smash, like what you're saying. Like those guys are on a whole nother level.
It's amazing.
So I remember when it was a really big deal about this character being added. Maybe it wasn't a big deal, but everyone lost their mind for Smash. And you know how like the new Challengers approach thing comes up and they're blacked out or whatever, and then
It's super fun. I love that.
and then it shows who the character was that they were releasing. It was Banjo-Kazooie. And I just remember watching this video, like a kid like dropped his phone and like started like 12-year-old like screeching. I guess
Yeah,
the best
but-
way I could explain it. And it was the
I
funniest
love
thing.
it.
It was hysterical. And they're like,
That's
it's Banjo-Kazooie.
That's what you would do.
That trailer baits you, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It's like I think in that trailer it says it's going to be the dog hunting character, and then it switches to Banjo.
Yeah,
Kazooie,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And everyone was like,
Yeah.
"Ah!" It was great.
That's awesome.
It was great.
But Duck Hunt is a character.
Now,
But I think at that point it wasn't, right, Zidane?
I don't know. I just remember the video and it was awesome.
I've never seen the video, but I want to see it now.
My whole point is like the trailer was so like Cameron, the trailer was like baiting you to think it was Banjo Kazooie, then it showed someone else, then you're like, oh, it's that, and then no, it actually was Banjo Kazooie. So yeah, I think we're good on this. Like we're good, right? I just wanted your guys' opinions, but we're all.
I am fantastic.
Good. So then the second thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, it's still within like, I guess you could say like competitive games and competitive aspects of games and whatnot, but it's on a totally different level. Basically it's Smurfing. Now,
Oof.
all three of you know what Smurfing is, right?
I'm 90% sure I know, but I want you to explain for people who do not.
Yeah, explain it.
That's a good job,
Twink.
Cameron.
Good job,
Good
job, Cameron.
No, he's actually right. I should definitely explain it for anyone who does not know.
We have an audience, Foz.
We do, and I need to
thank
cater
you.
to them.
We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you.
Thank you to everyone who's watching at this point. Like, we really appreciate it.
Shout out to Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to anybody who spends their time watching this. Like I said, we greatly appreciate it. And maybe like, what's your opinion on esports? You know, like I would love to know, like in the comments, like if you have, you know, like, is it a sport? Do you think it ruins the normal player base of games? Like all that stuff. I would love to know like your opinions in the comments. Now, that being said, Smurfing is essentially when a player who is of a very high skill level lowers themselves down to a different rank, like a lower rank in a game, so that they can basically just kind of stomp on people, you know, kind of have their way, do what they want. So yeah, that is like the general definition of it. I could go more into it, but first, before I do that, I want to know your guys' opinions on Smurfing.
They're douchebags. That's all.
Well said. Why are they douchebags?
Why do you feel the need to stomp on somebody who probably hasn't even put as near as many hours into whatever game it is that you guys are playing, to make them you push their shit into the ground, and then you may eventually make them not want to play the game, lowering the player count, and it's just there's no need for it. I mean, if you're good, be good. Like, get better. If you're stuck where you're at, get better. Like, there's no need to lower yourself to make someone feel bad about them. Douchebags.
So we just keep comparing esports to regular sports all night long. So, an example, I remember this YouTube videos. There's a few of them where this dude would dress up as Spider-Man, and he'd go to like local basketball courts, like like city basketball courts, or like outside and like get fenced in, whatever, and they play. He would just go join the game, and then he was just really good.
He'd be like, "Oh, first time I've played."
No, I don't think he played it off that way. He just walked in, and obviously he was going to be much better than any other person. I don't think that he was like. He obviously knew he'd be better. It's like a pro level versus your average guy who plays basketball on the weekends, basically.
Yeah.
And he would do like all kinds of crazy dribbles and like fake people out like that, and then shoot, and just he'd do really good. And it was interesting to see that because it's so much different, a physical thing versus just playing on the computer. Like to everybody else, Smurfing IRL. It's a really weird thing to do. Or like chess champions who go and like find those random people in the park who play chess with each other across the table and just smoke them. That seems a little overkill because you're one-on-one.
So why do you think? I want to ask all you this real quick. Sorry, Cameron, but like, why do you think like this guy This guy who dresses up as Spider-Man, which I know the video you're talking about, who goes and smokes kids on the court. This guy who goes and smokes people at chess, or this guy who smurfs in a Rainbow Six Siege lobby. Why are they all doing that?
Okay, so
Because
but
they
in
feel
real
bad about
life,
themselves.
no. Okay, I think in the video game sense, yes. In real life, I think it's more of a fun thing. Like, I'm just playing a game and getting stomped on, like I'm gonna be all pissed off. I'm not gonna be impressed from what I'm seeing. He's not gonna kill me so well that I'm just like, wow, like that's really cool. But in real life, if I had played basketball, okay, I'm gonna. I hate talking about pit bikes so much. Like, it's cool to go out and race with my dad. He's been racing like bicycles and dirt bikes for longer than I've been born, like alive, probably 40 years. And we're out there. It's cool whenever we're racing and he just smokes me. It just makes me want to get better. No time when I've been killed by someone who's smurfing does it ever make me want to get better. Like,
Makes me want to
when
quit.
you see it, makes you want to quit. So when you see it in real life, you're more amazed. You know, it happened right in front of you. It's not just some nonsense on the computer screen.
So what
So
I'm
what
getting
about
from
you?
you
What
is
about in video games then? Like, is it?
Yeah, and video games, it pisses me off. Like, I think that's dumb.
So like Cameron, can I
Respect.
counter that by saying, would your dad not be a douche if he like took his bike and went to like a kid's bicycle lesson and just like
Well, yeah,
started making drugs? Isn't that the same as smurfing? Like going down to fucking like Bronze
Yeah.
League
Okay,
Overwatch?
I guess I knew my dad. You're right. That's a
that's
totally
like-
different scenario. I
That is
knew my dad
totally-
was good already. It's just cool to be
Well,
impressed in person.
When there's a I think you're right. There's a big difference between doing that in a game
Oh.
in like a physical thing. But I think that's because in a physical thing, like you just have a way smaller sample size. Like
Yeah, you're right.
people
Bro,
around
I just imagine a grown ass. I
just imagine like a couple of preschoolers like learning to ride on like little tricycles or like bikes with the training wheel, and like an old man, like a grown ass man,
just rips by him,
just
dude.
comes around fucking like doing
Wheelies and circles around them.
doing wheelies and circles around him, and a little pit bike at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
that's amazing.
Nobody would
so
like that guy.
what I'm getting from you, Cam, is that people that smurf are douchebags.
In video games.
Yes.
In real life, I'd say the closest thing is that guy coming in, but there's no way to pretend that you're good in a video game. Like, you're just assuming that.
They're around your skill level.
Yeah.
If I can elaborate a little bit on what I was saying. So I feel like one of the reasons that it's different in real life, physical skills wise, is just because of like sample size. So like you have very little to no probability of interacting with like professional dirt bike riders or basketball players or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's very common for you to go find like a whole bunch of people that could just wipe you, right?
I don't know what. I'm sorry, Stan.
What's going on, bud?
I just
I'm
had this
just-
vision of like
Yeah,
Cam's dad like
I know,
ripping through
exactly.
some like 7-year-olds and like kicking one of them over or
just, like,
something.
I cannot.
I feel like that's
I can't get that out of my head, dude. Of Cameron's dad just ripping around some kids. I'm sorry, Stan. I'm sorry. You're making a really good. So
there's you just you're a little more
yeah.
Pleasantly surprised by meeting someone in real life that has that skill set, because that's the fun of it, where it's like, you know, if you met 1,000 basketballers a day and you were at, let's say you're at like a basketball camp and there's like hundreds of people there and like everybody's supposed to split off into their groups and do their thing, who would like the kid who keeps going to like the beginner groups and like dunking on him? Like, all right, very nice, man. Go back to your corner.
Go back to your corner.
Like, go over there where you should be. It's a lot about scale to me there, because like in Overwatch, where you know I'm gonna play with, you know, another 11 random people here. I'm gonna get another 11 random people after that, 11 random people after that. That's different than like I'm gonna queue up with like 6 guys. Oh hey, this guy showed up. I wonder what he is about. Holy shit, he's amazing.
He's not my. There's no way he's my
Phenomenal.
rank. Why is he playing with
Yeah,
us?
he's not, or like I mean in the context of like
So
playing basketball. Oh, this guy's really fucking good. Whereas like
yeah,
you're not, like Cameron said, you're not gonna say, oh, that guy's really good because he's down here hanging out in bronze,
right,
stomping on kids.
for sure.
So
And I'm sorry, Cameron. Just like real quick though, another thing is that that's different than in real life. Is that so? Your rank and rank points in your elo is on the line. So like basically, if I'm going against a Smurf,
Mhm.
I'm losing elo because this guy's being a douchebag. You know, I'm losing what I earned because this guy is just being a bitch about it. Like that. I think that is one of the main things that people get upset about when it comes to this.
And they do it just to do exactly that.
Do you think that's the only reason they do it?
Why else would they do
There's
it?
an-
But like
they-
what makes them
ego.
wake up in the morning and be like, I'm gonna make a new account.
They're
So
douchebags. They're
I'm gonna make a new account so I'm the lowest possible rank and just shit on people.
they're douchebags. That's why they do that. So again, I don't think it's douchey in real life because no one's losing anything. Like in that rank, you make a really good point there. Like you're not losing anything by losing this basketball game to Spider-Man by you passing me in a race. Like you almost get bragging rights. It's the total opposite. You're not just not losing anything. And then Stan made that really good point. Like the sample size. So I'd only ridden with my dad this whole time. And that's been for the last month, which is a good thing because I was not very good when I started. And in the month I'd say I'm pretty decent at it now. So my brother came out because we have a third one now, and he was riding with us. He's a little bit better than I thought he was going to be, but I was definitely still like a lot better than him. So we got some more sample size. And then last night, my buddy Kylan and my buddy Barry came out,
Uh-oh.
and we were all riding, and we get onto the track, and the first part of the track's like a big sand pit, like kind of thing, and Barry just goes down right off the get-go. And then Kylan just takes off. And I followed him, and it was just like, cool. Like, now watch, like, now you follow me. And I showed him, like, here, like, this is what you need to do. And I did it, like, appropriately. Like, but he hadn't been on dirt bike in a really long time. So I was just like, here, watch this. And then I just kept watching him race and improve. So it's just cool to see the sample size. I did not see, I mean, I knew Kylan was going to be pretty good at it, but I didn't expect him to be, like, up towards, like, the level that I've made myself to in the last month. He's already like, man, if me and him raced, it would be a good, I think I'd win, but it'd be a good like race. Like it's just cool. Even my dad was like, dang, he's a lot better than I anticipated. Like he cleared our big jump, and it's cool. Like I mean, it makes me want to be better now.
So what's your point then when it comes to like that and then like online gaming and the bigger sample size? Are you saying that, like, what exactly are you saying by that?
Like I was saying, like what Stan said, like you don't expect somebody to come out and be good at something new like that, but in the games, it's like everybody. Sorry, Stan, back me up here. I'm losing my train of thought.
Well, so I think what you're saying is that like there's a there's like, are you expecting that like the game systems like the elo is putting you with a group of people that are of the same skill set?
Yes.
Like yeah, like that.
So it's stupid to see somebody in one of those elo levels that is way too good. So
elo meaning, I just want to be as clear as I can be, like elo meaning like the rank that everyone else is supposed to be in type thing. So like instead of like a bronze elo, this person is in a master's elo and they're shitting on people because of it. I want to set up a hypothetical for you guys real quick, and this is kind of one of the defenses, quote unquote, against smurfing, is that people are trying to play with their friends or people that they know. So they make an account like that so that they can do that. I mean, go ahead. I mean, I could definitely see that being a thing because like I would play with somebody. I mean, what if they want to have fun with their friends?
That's what Quick Play's for.
I don't know. I just feel like regardless of the reason, it's the same thing. Like
what
you
if
are
your friend
making
is
an
really
account
bad?
to circumvent the matchmaking.
What if your friend is really bad, you're really good, you want to play with your friend?
Then you queue up together on your accounts and you just deal with whatever you get.
But the system,
Just like when I play with you, buddy.
Stan, some systems won't let them do that. So like an Apex Predator cannot play a ranked game with a plat player. It's not. It won't allow it. The game will not allow it.
You guys need to go play Quick Play then. That's the rules.
But what if they want to do something more competitive?
Then they need to get better.
Well, then in that case, when we're talking about smurfing, most of the time they will stay at the lowest rank, elo. Like if they're doing that and working their way through the ranking system, sure, okay, fine. But there's been too many times where I'm not really the Siege player that I once was. And when I would go and be like, hey, all right, I'm going to try this whole rank thing. And let's say you get silver or copper, which is the lower end of the ranking system. And even if you're on the lower end of copper, you will have, lower end of silver, you will have Smurfs come in and either shit on you or be on your team, kill everybody, and ruin the round. You're just like, well, I guess fuck me. That's what I'm referring to when I say douchebags. Not somebody who teams up with a friend, works their way through the ranking system, and does it all over again.
Then it's boosting, which is maybe a totally different thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, but that's not smurfing, I guess.
So that does convince me that I should make an exception for anybody who, if you want to level another character or another account, I get that. Progression-wise, that's an okay reason to restart an account to like actually start at bronze and work your way back up or whatever.
But people, buy these. Like I'm going to use Siege again. People buy it, get ranked.
So I think maybe that's also convinced me it is okay to make another account to play with your friends.
And then they stay in copper, and then they just
smoke kids.
They'll either shoot your team, kill everybody, and then smoke the other team, and then blow themselves up. And like, okay, well, that was a wasted round.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, it's very toxic and not fun for anybody involved, except for that douchebag.
I actually agree with you guys. I was just playing devil's advocate for a second because I have heard that. I have heard that defense, I guess you could say, against smurfing is people are trying to play with their friends who are not as good as them. I was just playing devil's advocate for a moment with the whole thing. But I mean, I agree with you guys, and I feel like the greater majority of the time, like, that's not the case. Somebody is just being like you said. You said it best, idea, and they're just being toxic, for sure.
Get them out.
So, are we good?
I'm good.
Zedian's like, I'm good, dude. I'm fuck them. I'm pissed. I'm good.
Fuck them.
Get them out. Okay, cool, good. So the last thing I wanted to talk with you guys about, it's something way less competitive, a lot more casual, a lot more fun. I guess I was feeling a competitive edge this episode. I don't know, but the last thing I wanted to talk about was something very simple. It's basically like game burnout. Shout out to Stan. This is something that he brought up and something that I've been wanting to talk about for a minute. Basically, like, and I feel like Stan was feeling this with Space Engineers, but he's kind of bringing it back now. He's kind of found something new that he's really interested in. But like, basically, what games are like, do you have a hard time burning out because they're so good? And maybe are you forcing yourself to like burn out because you're so into the game? Like, is it mostly on you or is it on the game? Like, what is your guys' opinion on game burnout in general?
Totally on you.
Okay, why?
I mean, you should. I'm not saying you should limit yourself because when you want to play a game, you're gonna play the game. But I mean, if that's the only thing that you play for 3 or 4, 6 months, you're probably going to get burned out unless you can somehow make the game new to you. And a game for me that doesn't really burn out. I mean, I go through a couple months where I don't play it, and I'll come back to it, but I don't play it every day. Is Battlefield 4. I can always go back to that, like my old faithful. I know that I'm gonna have a blast playing it. I know I'm gonna shit on people when I play it, and the servers are still populated, so I'm gonna play it. So there's that.
I feel like I have a harder time keeping with a game and playing it for a long time. And I'm really impressed that I played WoW Classic for a solid year.
You did.
Yep.
Like
You did.
I'm,
We both did.
and I haven't played in 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm already just like, man, I had a warlock sitting there I was leveling, so I'm probably gonna resub probably this weekend. I'm really planning on playing a lot of video games this weekend and doing nothing else. So
Hell yeah.
You were
at
pretty
some-
busy
yeah.
last weekend.
I know, dude. I've been busy for like 3 weeks, so I'm ready to just hang out at home, play video games, and do my thing.
I thought you were
and-
coming over for sushi and checking out the new place.
Like, I mean, that's still relaxing. So I've just been getting burnt out and stuff. I need to catch up on it, but yeah, I cannot believe, and I'm impressed with myself that I played WoW for like a year.
Okay.
And there's always chunks of burnout time in games. Like, I'm never really burnt out on Oblivion. Like, I always think about going back to it. I'm never really burnt out on Dark Souls. I go back to Dark Souls all the time. Someone talks about it, I go run through the game in a few hours.
Why are you never burnt out on Dark Souls? Why do you think that is?
It's always a challenge, and there's always a new something. There's a new build you can try it with, or sometimes it's fun to try to be OP and just smoke everything. Or, there's different things I can do to make it fun. Like you said, you're making it fun. So I did that Dark Souls level 1 run. Like, I'd never leveled up once, and I beat the whole game.
Which was
I'm proud of that. Like, before that, I think the last time I beat it, I went for a specific weapon that was a hard drop. And then since I got it, I went for a really fast all bosses run, and I did it under 4 hours. I killed every boss. Like,
What was the drop again? I remember that.
Black Knight Halberd.
OP is fuck.
Yeah,
From
super.
the, from
Just
the
one of the-
demons?
It's a Black Knight drop in the Darkroot Gardens.
Yes.
Okay.
Right by the crest shield.
Yep.
Um,
It's super good. So I mean, there's just things to do, and again, like, I almost want to just sit. We've talked about it. I might even beat Dark Souls this weekend because I can just
Because it's
sit
fun.
down and beat Dark Souls. That's awesome. Now think about the first time I played it. Hell no. Like, you only get better at the game. Like, that's another reason I'm not getting burnt out, because I feel like the last 2 or 3 run-throughs I was a parry king, and I was never that way. Like, I can parry a little bit, but now I can parry like almost everything all the time.
Except when you fought Gwen.
Yeah, that level 1. No, that pisses me off. I'm a hypocrite. Everything I just said, I take back.
So, I've like kind of a follow-up question for you, Cameron. So you said you played WoW Classic for a year, and you did. You played it very religiously. Why did you not get burnt out on WoW Classic, you think?
So much shit to do. I wanted more gear, and I loved raiding. I had a consistent schedule, like, so I was on there.
So you enjoyed raiding in the game and getting gear?
Yes, but also I leveled other characters, because as I played, I'd see something else and be like, wow, like, those guys are cool. I always thought warlocks were cool. That's why I was loving a warlock. Or
I
I'd
want
see a
that.
mage. Yeah, I want that, and it just takes time to get that.
Gotta grind, baby.
But I mean, if we didn't get kicked out of the guild and we only raided 1 night a week, I'd still be raiding to this
You
day.
don't really get kicked out. You like force them to.
Well, I'm not gonna let that happen. That's some nonsense. So, I mean, it's just, it was a lot of fun to, like I've said in the past, getting 40 people to come together consistently and work together to do something difficult is super cool in my mind. Big,
It is.
massive raids really just made the game for me. I love that.
I got a bone to pick with you, Cameron.
Tell me about it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't think WoW Classic is hard.
Uh-oh.
No, I don't think so either. I think that there's a lot of people who play it, and if you could get
I think the WoW boomers overrate it because, like, I was actually I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but like, I was really excited. I just want to elaborate more on what I'm trying to say. Like, I was really excited to play WoW Classic, and then I started playing. I'm like this isn't like the mechanics in PvE are like not that hard. Like, I think PvP is more interesting for sure, but like, I'm like the mechanics are not like that hard. You can like get a pug group and like down ZG. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I thought like the WoW boomers told me that this was the most essential form of WoW and it's really good. Like, I didn't think that. I thought like for the most part it was like the mechanics were easy. Everything was easy. Everyone was rolling everything, and that really decreased my interest in the game.
So,
Well-
do you think there's maybe a difference between the times when we played it? Because, like, has WoW always
For
like,
sure.
So let's think of like
Yes.
from like actual day one of WoW. Could you go to Icy Veins? How long did it take for stuff like that to form? Because maybe that's a part of like, you know, when you go to like WoW Classic today, you can say something oddly specific like LFG SMGY, and like everybody knows exactly what's going on. Everybody's like, all right, like
I
if you're
don't.
gonna run that, you need to be this level, you need to be this, like you need to have this composition of team, you might need
Eh.
this special item kind of stuff. You don't is there a difference between all that?
Yeah, I totally agree with Stan. We know what min-maxing is now. We can do it, and
Min-max.
everybody wanted to do it. Min-maxing is, for people who don't know, is just playing only like the most efficient way and sticking to that rather than just like
Tauren Warrior.
rather than just
That's
doing
min-max.
how you, you know, how
DKP
you want to.
minus.
Yeah.
So, but I think that if we had 40 people who were all the same skill level, like, you know, any of us jump into any type of game, we're going to be relatively better than the average person at a video game. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Zynata, yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay, so like we could jump into a new shooter and we're going to be good at that shooter. I feel like you put us in a different kind of scenario that's similar to WoW, I'm still going to be pretty good at that. You know, if you give me the same tools in a different game, I'll be able to handle that game. So
Okay.
imagine 40 people like us all playing Classic and talking to each other and communicating. I do think that, wow, like you said, it's easy. I think it would be really easy. I think that there's such a wide variety of people who play World of Warcraft, and especially Classic, that you have all kinds of different skill levels. Like, I don't know how. It doesn't make any sense that I topped the fucking healing charts. Like,
Priest.
were they just not good? No other priest was close. Like,
close? Like, they're not even close.
they're like three or four.
First place
Okay,
again.
what about your role then? Were you a different, like, were you set up?
We're all
your role as the healing priest.
Main
Were you set up? Okay, well then right there, that gives you more healing per second.
all
right?
priests would be main tank priests. So,
Oh, okay.
so what I'm getting at
The
is
others are
that,
just bitches.
yeah. So there's like, not meaning this in a mean way, everybody.
Just
like,
say.
just
I'm over here talking shit.
Oh, I know. I think I know what you're about to say too.
yeah, he knows. There was a lot of healers in World of Warcraft are women, and I just
And they stink.
from my experience, they are not as good as
You're walking
as
around in
players.
some deep water here, boy.
I know.
And they
So,
stink.
so I just imagine these older ladies sitting at their laptops and they have HealBot installed and they're dragging their little mouse pad around with their finger, like
Yeah,
healing.
you're right.
And
Do people what? There's no way they use the mouse pad.
I know maybe.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
process.
I think there's people who do, man.
I could not do that.
I knew somebody in WoW who played on a laptop, and they did the mouse pad. But they had it so like they would click, like so like they would tap the mouse pad, it would tap their spell, it it would hold on to the spell that they just tapped, so it knew, and then click over, back and forth, whole raid.
That sounds horrible.
Weird.
So that's what I'm getting at. So imagine all of us together. That would make that WoW content easy. If you just understood it and were competent, it would be no problem. It's just mechanics.
Quit standing in the fire.
The mechanics are easy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
The only reason that anyone would think it's hard is because they think those mechanics are hard, but they're not.
Yeah.
But no mechanic should be hard as long as you understand it.
It
True.
would be really hard
So
to
if you're a competent
even make
game
it
player,
before if you didn't understand the mechanics.
exactly. But if
Like
you're
the owls, they
competent,
have to kill at the same time or whatever.
yeah, you have to just know. And
Yeah,
all it
that's-
takes is someone watching a 15-minute YouTube video to learn how to do anything, and then a quick 2-minute recap. Don't stand in the fucking fire. You tank this. If this happens, you do that. DPS, stand here. I'm gonna be a raid leader. I'm just gonna tell them. I'm forming the new guild. Everybody's coming back to class.
Your guild would fall apart in 2 seconds.
I recruit everybody in my Discord. That's half the raid. We just gotta fill it with
I'll tell you what. Yeah, and they're gonna have to level to 60. We've got.
Nope. I'm at like 30 or
I'm a
40.
rebel.
I got a level 30 mage.
I have to level up a tank if I'm gonna be the raid leader.
No, I'll be the tank, dude. I'll be a warrior.
So I'll just be a healer sitting in the back telling people what to do.
You should still level.
I'm resubbing a WoW tomorrow night.
No,
Why do we talk about it?
I think healers are actually good shot callers for raids, because it's the same thing in Overwatch. So like, I don't know, this might be toxic, but like the person who plays Mercy should shot call because they're doing less than the other 5 people on the team.
Oh, yeah. I was about ready. They can see everything.
Yeah, that too, as well. Like they have a better view of everything because they're in the back. So like when I play competitive Overwatch, I have a Mercy on my team whose shot calls were like very sufficient because they are like they see everything. What they're doing doesn't require as much like mechanical skill. So the more information, the more information they give, the better. So yeah, anyways, I picked that bone with you. I'm good on that. Let's go back to
I'm playing WoW Classic this weekend, boys.
Fuck.
Well,
We
that's what I
lost
get.
Cam.
That's what I get.
There.
Anyways, though, back to game burnout, and this is actually Stan's topic, so I wanted to ask him about it. What brought you back to what brought you back to Space Engineers? Because now you're kind of into it again after you said yourself you were feeling burned out. What happened? How did you overcome the burnout and all that?
So what happened really was I more or less finished the last ship that I was working on. It was like flying and working. I could jump with it. I'd taken it to Mars and came back. I'd taken it to the moon. I'd done all kinds of fun shit in it. And I got to the point I'm like, man, I don't really want to start another project. There's like stuff I could do here. I don't really want to do any of that. Like, what do I want to do right now? And
were you feeling like creatively you didn't have much else to do in the game at that point?
No, there's always more to do. I just didn't really feel like doing anything after all that. I'm like, wow, that was a lot. Let's take it easy for a minute. But then one night I'm just like, I was like, all right, I want to play Space Engineers, but like, what do I do? And then I decided I'm just going to head for Mars and start working on a new station over there to make a jump point. And I think what continues to bring me back is there are always new, really unique problems to solve, such as like, me trying to go to Mars to build my base. There's a lot of really specific problems to solve. So like I come there with the Inquisitor, which has a lot of really nice gear on board. So I have a refinery, I have a couple assemblers, I can make stuff, I have a safe environment, I can go exploring, I can dig a whole bunch of stuff up at once. So that changes it up a little bit. And that also kind of influences what I do, what I build. So what I started building was just a room with some machines in it, connected it to that machine. And then I have to go find the different types of mats that I like, or that I need to start building stuff. And then I'm like,
Cool.
I kind of like this asteroid. This is the kind of base I think I want to build. I decide what I want to build. I'm like, I want something really big with a really big ship deck. So I start framing that out. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to need a ship to build all that. So I start working on the ship for that. And then that just keeps me busy. That's
kind of snowballs, right?
Yeah. It snowballs a little bit, but there are also always really unique ways to go about it. Cause like it was the same in Minecraft too. Cause like, you just start, you're brand new. You got to go dig up dirt and stuff. You build your first little house. You have a nice
Stan, as someone who doesn't know a lot about this, I have a quick question for you. So like, when you go to like a new, because you said you went into a new environment. So at that point, are you given like new challenges? And that's why it's interesting, because like you're given these new challenges in the new environment or new planet you're in.
I would say the challenges are consistent. So let's think about like what. So you need quite a bit of stuff to like survive in space, and then quite a bit more to like actually thrive and build stuff. So like at the base, at the absolute basic, you have to have enough to build like a small room. You have to have something to power it. So either a battery, solar panels, hydrogen engines, or nuclear reactors are your power source options. You have to have something that can convert ice into oxygen and hydrogen. And you have to have something that can pressurize that environment to make it suitable for life in. And then to make all that stuff, you need a refinery, which breaks down material. But you can only mine so much with your hands. So you got to make something that can go mine it for you. So like,
you can get more. Yeah.
When it's like, when I'm at the station that I already have, I have all the mats that I need. I have a whole ship that can do anything. When I first came to space, I came in one small ship, and I had to dig up stone with my hands and refine it in a survival kit until I could make a bigger refinery. But so now it's almost, I just go and I just like I just scoop up the mats and the ship can refine it. And so like I just don't even have to worry about the issue of like how much can I gather, how quickly can I refine it. I just scoop it all up and it goes into the refinery. Now I'm working with so much material, I need more than one refinery.
So it's just snowballs, dude. It's just, but I can imagine that would be gratifying to like be able to go to a new planet and be like, yo, I've already laid the groundwork for this. Like I already have a way to be successful. Now I just need to like keep going and like it's easier now than it was before. And you kind of look back on that and realize that,
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I wanted your opinion on that because to me, it's almost like Space Engineers is a game where you could never get. I almost feel like you could never get burnout unless you like took it to the max, because there is so much potential.
Yeah, and I mean, there are still really cool and significant things in the game that I haven't even touched on.
Yeah.
Such as like AI encounters, like player versus player, even player versus environment. There's stuff on planets that I haven't even seen. There's entire environments on planets I've never seen before. You can drill to the center of a planet in that game if you want to.
That would be sick.
Will it kill you?
No, I think you just go down and you just get stuck in like a gravity loop. You just spin.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Gotta run.
Okay, so I guess so. You already spoke on this, Zidane, but like you think it's all like the player, right? Like if you enjoy a game and you play it for a while and you get burnt out on it, like it's all on the player, correct?
Either they're playing it too much or they're not creative enough.
Huh.
Like
okay.
if you are like you're getting burnt out on Apex Legends, give yourself a challenge. Only do it this way. Only use this gun. Only, try to win a game by only punching, which would be ridiculously hard. But I mean, like you would be like, if that were to happen, I guarantee you'd get lots of views on a YouTube video.
Oh, okay. So that's a really that's a really good transition to what I was going to ask you next.
Okay.
So like these content creators, and you're a content creator,
I feel
give or
like
take,
X.
whatever. But X, sure, whatever. But like, what? So like these content creators that get popular in a game. I'll just use Apex Legends as an example again because that's what we were talking about. They get popular with Apex Legends, and then they get really like they get burnt out on it because they were just playing it every day. That's what people want to see. So what? And this is a very niche example, but I've always been curious about like what do you think those people do? Because it's tough because you want to appeal to your audience and make money, be successful, all these things. But like, fuck, man, I'm sick of this game. Like, what
That's
do you?
all. That's all kind of depending on the your audience there. I know I played a couple games where I wasn't 100% like on board with the game, but I knew that the few people that were watching would enjoy it, so that made it fun for me.
No, I definitely feel like excuse me, in the context of streaming, that's a very manageable amount of gameplay. Like even if you, I mean, unless you're doing consistent 24-hour streams, what's an average? Like a long stream would be like 6 hours, right? The normal would be like 3 to 4.
10, yeah, like some of the like really obviously the very popular full-time ones, I feel like some of them would go 8 to 10 hours. And if
Okay.
if they only play that one game, that like I could only imagine, I guess.
Well, I mean, let's look at it this way. I mean, I feel like 8 hours is about the threshold of how long you can do something you absolutely hate in one day, every day. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. 8 hours a day, that specific game. At that point, it's just a full-time job. Like it's
I mean,
you
yeah,
gotta
that's
do
what
it.
you're comparing it to.
That was so well said, Stan. By the
But
way,
but the audience will make it better, I promise. Like
Yeah.
viewers make it fun.
It is
Promise.
a comparatively fun job at that, even if you're not enjoying it on a specific day.
so one thing. Go ahead, Cameron. Go ahead.
I just think it'd be cool to stream. I mean, I'd like to try it. If I had viewers, I think I'd like to interact with the viewers. I think Zidane totally right. I feel like if you had somebody there with you or you're interacting with different things, you're not just playing the game for 8 hours. You're doing more on top of the game.
You're interacting.
Yeah, you're interacting.
Let me set up a quick hypothetical for you then, Cameron. Say you are a WoW Classic streamer, and
I'm not playing.
No, hold on, bear with me. Say you're a WoW Classic streamer, and
Fuck.
that's what your audience loves, yada yada. Don't you see yourself getting burnt out on WoW Classic, playing 8 hours, maybe Monday through Friday, like every day?
Well, yeah, I get burnt out on my
First of all,
job,
don't stream every day.
Yeah.
But a lot of them do. Like they do it for like at least 4 days a week, at least if they're really successful. I feel.
I mean,
Unless they're like stupid successful where they get enough revenue for like one day, you know, like those guys. But like a lot of them, that's not the case.
You're oversaturating your content at that point, and
Yeah.
you're not giving people time to be like, oh, when's whoever's streaming? Oh, I'm gonna watch him. Oh, he's not streaming today. I'll watch him tomorrow.
But you got to be online so people notice you're there. Sorry, go ahead, Cameron.
So I don't think you're really you are making content, but you're not. I consider making content more where you're putting out videos and stuff that can be viewed at any time. If you're streaming every single day, not everyone's going to be able to watch you every day. So if they know, hey, he's streaming this game this week, he's going to be playing it 40 hours this week, I can catch him anytime.
But you will have diehard fans that will be there every single time.
Well,
if you are consistent.
You just gotta get one whale to keep donating. That's how streaming works.
I see streamers who like their diehard fans are like they're literally at work, but they're watching their favorite streamer.
Yep, it happens.
Yeah.
I should stream Space Engineers. I'd really like that.
Quit your job.
Quit your job. Become a full-time space engineer streamer.
By the way, that's a good transition into the end of this episode. So what I wanted to say was that the 8-Bit Opinions podcast, the 8-Bit Opinions group, we're thinking about doing a gameplay type thing on the channel as well. It's still like in the mix and everything, but it's definitely something that we've been considering. And just like posting it to YouTube, like different games and whatnot. So it's definitely something to look forward to on the channel. And then after that, I mean, the evolution is like streaming and all this sort of thing. So it's just a little plug at the end of our podcast here. The podcast will always be here. It's kind of like our mainstay, but we are also it's our core. But we're also always looking to branch out because that's what you have to do on the internet.
Evolve.
Exactly. So, like always, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this and joining me, and I want to thank anyone who listened or watched this. I want to thank you for spending the time with us. Let me know, like in the comment section. I already asked you about esports, like your opinion on that, but if you have any opinions on like Smurfing or game Burnout, definitely let us know in the comments. If you just want to like say all caps douchebags, love it. If you want to say more than that, if you want to give a more detailed opinion than Zidane, that would probably be for the best.
Douchebags, nice.
Yeah, times 2, right? That would be the. But anyways, like I said, thank you so much for listening and watching. And Cameron,
I just want to say that I'm excited about the gameplay content, just to see how we play video games together. We talk about it so much, and if somebody's watched,
it would be fun to see us actually like gameplay
interacting, how we interact outside of this, because obviously we give our full attention to each other, but some of us ignore others in games, or you get to see the bullshit fuck off that we talk about. So
it's super fun.
I hope we do this content. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm pretty damn excited now.
This could be our first content episode. Could be you playing space engineers trying to make your way up to my base.
But we all have to be together for it.
You 3 could spawn on the planet, and the 3 of you have to make a ship that can make it to my station.
We'll be brainstorming out there, team. So everybody out there listening, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Get ready for some good content coming your way.